Well, here's part two. First, we talked about the difficulties of mental illness, and hopefully, I've kind of gave you some encouragement so that you don't feel so alone, and hopefully, tried to get some other people to understand what it's like. Now, I want to talk about sexual abuse. It can happen to anyone, any gender, any age, but it all seems to affect us somewhat the same. Losing that sense of security, losing that trust, being confused, our minds being warped, making us feel and think that we're something we're not, blaming ourselves, which is absolutely wrong. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Between the ages of 10 and 12, I went through molestation in the home. And because of the relationship, and because of how I knew my mom was, I really wanted her to have that happiness with that companion. And so I felt that I would sacrifice that so that she could be happy. Many, many times I'd be wide awake, just pretending to sleep. And every morning I would wake up to find money under my pillow, new toys, new clothes, new shoes. And after 10 years without a real father figure, something made me associate this with what fathers do, how fathers show love. I'm not sure. I finally broke my silence, but I was so afraid to tell the truth. So afraid for my mother and my safety that I said it was a lie. I know my mom went through lots of different emotions, being scared and being angry at me, because I know she loved him, and it was hard for me, and it was a big ordeal. And one day everybody just stopped talking about it, like it never happened. But it's something that stayed in my mind. Still to this day, I have to sleep with my door locked. It's just something buried deep inside of me. Now, if you've ever been sexually abused, I know you may have felt betrayed or abandoned, maybe nasty, disgusted with yourself. Maybe today is hard to be intimate with a partner. Maybe you may find yourself promiscuous because you had this experience at such an early age. But the fact is, that's not who you are, at least not anymore. I'm sorry that it happened to you. I'm sorry it went on as long as you did. I'm sorry for all the times you cried. I'm sorry for all the times you tried to reach out and you just couldn't. I'm sorry for the memories that keep coming back into your head. But I'm so proud that some way and somehow you did, or right now you are, managing it. And you're coping with it. And you're realizing that although it was a bad event that happened in your life, it made you wiser, it made you stronger. It made you a person that knows that even though bad things happen, they don't stop life. Sometimes we don't share enough with each other, with friends or with family. Sometimes we think we can handle these things on our own, and maybe you can, but I always can't. I need somebody there. I don't fear my molester anymore. I feel sorry for him that he chose to do that. And I'm proud of myself that despite that, I didn't let him keep any power over me. I didn't let him I didn't let him win. I didn't sit there and allow it to go on forever. Despite at that time, me being a child, I just didn't know what was right or wrong. Sexual abuse doesn't have to stop at being just molested, but just any time you are forced to undergo any type of sexual act without your permission or your comfort. And you don't have to for the love of anybody. Anybody tells you that type of act means you love them, it's not true. Or vice versa, that it means that they're showing you how much you love them, or they're teaching you something. It's not true. You may be a parent now, having had experienced something like that, and you may be scared for your children, but one day you'll be able to let them know that those things are just not okay. What happened to you was not okay. And I know sometimes in the spring as we walk through the park, we may accidentally step on those flowers on the sidewalk and carelessly walk off, and maybe that flower just stays there, just can't stand upright, just feeling so torn and so beaten. But believe me, I'd pick that flower up and I'd still see the beauty inside of it. None of your beauty and nothing about yourself has ended just because you feel like you've been knocked down, just because that happened to you. You still are going to be an awesome, outstanding person. You're going to be an inspiration to somebody with your story. You got this. It's okay.